Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you a makeup tutorial on this look right here, and this is my New Year, New Me 2018 makeup tutorial. I'm kind of trying to reinvent my makeup routine and focus more on the skin and healthy natural ingredients that are going to not irritate my skin and feel a little healthier on my face, and also feel a little healthier mentally. I feel a little better putting them on because I know they have better ingredients. So I'm really focusing on those kind of products, and I used a ton of them in this new video. I also am using some old favorites. I'm definitely using up some older products that I've been using for a while, so those aren't going anywhere until they're completely gone. But I'm really making the shift to healthier options in 2018. So I hope you guys enjoy seeing this makeup tutorial, and let's get started. I'm going to start out priming my eyelids, and I'm going to use the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in the shade Eden. And this is like a slightly fleshy, yellowy colored primer. And I find the secret to this is to swipe a little bit on, maybe in the middle of your eyelids. That's what I find works best for me. And then kind of wait for it to dry and get a little tacky before you spread it around. Because if you try to spread it around right away when you put it on, it's just too wet and doesn't really set down nicely and create like that tacky base. So I kind of wait a little bit before I spread it in. But I'm moving on to this because my MAC Painterly Paint Bot is finally down to the dregs and needs to be thrown away. And this is the other eyeshadow primer I have at the moment. But I'm kind of looking for a good one. I don't know, I want to use this one up and then maybe try something different. So let me know down below what your favorite primers are. Okay, it's getting pretty tacky here, so I'm just going to use my ring finger to kind of spread it around and make sure it completely covers my eyelid from my lash line all the way up to my brow. And don't forget the inner corner too. Eyelids are primed, and now for the eyeshadow, I'm moving on to a new eyeshadow trend. If you watched my yearly favorites, you saw that my favorite MAC shadows are completely have hit pan and there's like hardly any left. And now I'm really loving this Osmosis eyeshadow trio in the shade Desert Trio. And it has a really nice tan shade that you can set your whole eyelid with, and then an orange and a brown that you can kind of play around with to create different looks. But I really like this because this is a mineral based line and it's healthier. I'm also moving on to this Bobbi Brown eye blender brush, which is really fancy and bougie. My Sigma E40 was just a million years old, and I still have it, and I'm sure I'll still break that out and the MAC shadows. But for now I'm kind of moving on to this stuff, and it feels really nice. Like those I just had for a really long time and were falling apart and not working as well as they once did. So I'm just taking the tan shade and putting that all over my lid just to kind of set that. And I love doing this just so that it doesn't crease and creates like an additional barrier for your eyeshadow to sit on top of. So eyelids are set, and now I'm going to use this orange shade here. And I'm kind of going to mix together the orange and the brown shade, I think. Tap off a little excess and then just windshield wiper this back and forth through the crease. And you're probably thinking this is exactly the same as all your eye looks. This is not different for the New Year, New You look. But I really like this orangey shade. I'm kind of in the mood to wear a lot more of it this year. I think this will be my new vibe. I just really like this brand of eyeshadows and this brush, and I'm just feeling it. This is the new look, okay? Eyeshadow's done, and I'm still going to stick with a quick just eyeshadow look for this year. That's kind of just generally my vibe, and I don't like to spend too much time on that. Instead, I'm going to spend lots of time on winged liner because that's kind of my signature look, and I feel that it makes me look very polished. So I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Unstoppable Eyeliner in Onyx, of course, and then follow that up with my Kat Von D Trooper Liner, which is the black one. I've added winged eyeliner, and now it's time for mascara, and I have my favorite mascara back. This is the Tarte Gifted Mascara. I'm thinking of trying to try some natural mascaras in the new year, but for now this is my favorite one, and I just haven't found any replacement that's as good as this because it layers so well, and you can just keep adding mascara throughout the day and your lashes just get more and more luscious. So I'm going to add this on. Now I'm going to move on to the base, which to me is the most exciting part of the whole look, and I'm not going to be using a primer. I think I've just seen a few too many Jamie Genevieve videos, and I purchased the Kiehl's Daily Reviving Concentrate, so I'm going to go ahead and take just a few drops of this, probably like three, and then kind of spread that around in my fingers and just spread this on my face, especially anywhere where you tend to look a little dry, which for me is the outer part of my face. My T-zone has no problem looking shiny. And then also on the neck. Always put your skincare products on the neck, can't hurt. And this product smells amazing. I've been trying it out. I think I'm going to do a whole video on this just to kind of review it and show you guys the different effects it can give, but I'm really enjoying it. It does tend to make you look a little too oily, so if you're oily, definitely don't pick this up, but I've been enjoying it in the winter time, and it just smells nice, makes your skin feel nice, so whatever. I'm not sure it's a miracle product yet, but look out for a video on that. And then for foundation, I'm going to use my 100% Pure Superfruits Healthy Foundation, which if you watched my yearly favorites, this was my favorite foundation of last year. I'm just so impressed by this that it's 100% natural. And in the new year, my new vibe is just like a little healthier. So I'm trying to focus on using these healthier products like these mineral-based eyeshadows and more skincare products instead of silicone primers, and then this natural foundation. So I'm going to take, by the way, on my brand new black beauty blender, which I got in the Sephora VIB sale, but I've been saving for the new year, and now it's time. My old one is really disgusting and just needs to go to be with the other beauty blenders in the beauty blender heaven. But this one is nice and new and perfect, so I'm so excited to break it in. So I'm just starting off with one pump of foundation, and we'll build this up. This foundation builds really nicely and can give a really nice full coverage. I love this foundation. It just feels like nothing on your skin. I'm going to take another pump and do that one on the cheeks. Oops, got it in my hair. Not good. With just 2 pumps of that foundation, I've gotten a really good full coverage out of this, and I could probably just leave it here, but I'm going to take another probably like half pump, just a little dabble do ya, and just add that on anywhere where I feel I need more coverage. And for me, that's my nose, where it looks like I could use a little more coverage, and just through the T-zone kind of where I find that I get oily. And maybe just spread it out onto some of these larger blemishes I have on my cheeks. But really the area that needs the most attention is the nose. Next up for this New Year, New Me vibe, I'm going to use my Perricone MD No Makeup Concealer. And I really like this because it has SPF 20 in it. And that's just something no other concealer I've tried has. And I'm really into skincare. That foundation has SPF in it. I wear just regular SPF as the last step in my skincare routine anyway. But I just like having the additional SPF under my eyes because I don't tend to put my sunscreen really deep in there, and it's just going to help prevent wrinkles. So I'm really excited about this, and this brand is a little bit healthier for your skin, so just can't go wrong. But I'm also trying to be a little, classier and more polished in 2018. So did I say 2017 earlier? If I did, I meant 2018. So in 2018, I'm trying to be a little more classy and polished. So I've been using this YSL Touche Eclat concealer, which is not healthy, and I'm just trying to use it up actually because I've had it for quite a while, and I think it's on the verge of, not being good anymore. So I'm trying to use it up, and I really like the brightening effect it gives. This pinky tone really helps cancel out any dark circles and helps like brighten my under eye. So I've been mixing this in just with whatever concealer that I'm putting under my eye. So I'll mix that in with the Perricone concealer today, and then blend it out with my damp beauty blender. And now to set my under eye concealer, I'm trying to use up my Laura Mercier translucent powder. My whole thing for the new year is to try to use up old products before I purchase new ones and kind of cycle through all that I have. So I'm going to be using, for the sake of the video, the powder that I really want to get to using on the everyday basis, which is the Well People Bio Brightener Invisible Powder in Universal Glow. And this is just their clear white powder. And this is a really great healthy brand, and there's nothing bad in this powder. So what I'm going to do, I find that this powder does not work well with the damp beauty blender, so I'm going to take my Real Techniques setting brush and pick this up and just kind of try to get a bunch in the brush and then tap off the excess, because I find that if you don't do this, it really turns into a hot mess. So, and then I'm just going to sweep this under the eye and use this to set the powder. But like I said, don't try baking with this powder. It just does not turn out well. There's like kind of larger chunks in it or something. Overall, I think this powder is pretty finely milled. Like when I use it on a big fluffy brush all over the face, it tends to be okay. But when you pick it up with a damp beauty blender, something happens and it just kind of creates these like large chunks and it kind of ruins your under eye concealer. So don't do that. Definitely use a dry brush and just dab it on to set your under eye concealer. Before we move on to set the whole face, I'm going to be using the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel Cream Bronzer, which I am obsessed with lately. I go in and out of phases where I'm obsessed with this, and then I hate it, and then I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with it at the moment. I'm going to take this on my Sigma F84. It's kind of like an angled kabuki brush, and use this to kind of bronze up underneath my powder. And for my, really classy, polished, nice vibe for 2018, I really like using a cream bronzer underneath my powder bronzer because it lasts a lot longer and I think it just looks more polished. And you can just really tell when you do this, you can tell that you put a little bit more effort into your face makeup. It really just makes a difference. So I've been doing this daily, and of course this isn't a healthy product, but This is the cream bronzer that I'm working with at the moment. I'm hoping to try the RMS one, but I want to use this one up before I switch over. And I think this is going to take forever because every review I've seen of this bronzer, people have had it forever and it just lasts and lasts and lasts. So you might be seeing this pop up on the channel a lot. I'm not going too overboard with this bronzer, just along the hairline and then onto the cheekbones, not taking it too low because you really want to have that nice defined cheekbone and a nice light space underneath it. That's what makes you look really chiseled and polished. Plus this is a really kind of darker orangey bronzer, so if I go too heavy-handed it will just look very unnatural on my fair skin. So that's all I'm going to do. You can hardly really tell that there's too much on there. I mean, in the summer, or if you have dry skin you just want to use cream bronzer, this looks beautiful on its own, but I'm going to go ahead and add powder bronzer later. But first I'm going to set my makeup, and I'm going to use the Osmosis Mineral Pressed Base in Fair, which has been my go-to powder. I've already hit pan. I'm going to need to repurchase a new one when this one runs out. It's a mineral powder. It just gives a hint of coverage, and I just take this all over the face to set all the cream products down. And as you can tell, it just slightly covers the bronzer that we just put on, but not totally. This really doesn't add too much coverage. It just kind of sets everything down and makes it easier to blend your blush and highlighter on top, and also keeps your face from getting oily throughout the day. So after just a tiny bit of powder all over, we're going to move on to powder bronzer, and I'm going to use my Glow Skin Beauty bronzer in Sunlight and a big fluffy, this is the Osmosis full face brush. And I tend to, I've been using this lately this way, I kind of get the bronzer all over the brush, tap off a little excess, and then I kind of pinch it into a little bit more of an oblong shape and kind of add that right on top of the cream bronzer. Because I find when you just, you know, barehand it without pinching the brush, it kind of gets down a little too low and your face can start to look muddy. So it's really nice to kind of pinch it in and make it a little bit more precise. Then I'm also going to take my NARS Ita brush in the same bronzer, pick a little bit up on there, and swipe this down the sides of my nose just for a little definition. Now onto the fun part, which is highlighter. I'm using a new product which I haven't used before. I just got it, and this is the RMS Living Luminzer, and this is a totally natural beauty line, and I'm really excited about trying this out. So I'm going to take it on my damp beauty blender, and I don't know if it's going to work well since I already set my makeup, but oopsie, we're going to go for it anyway. In videos where I've seen people using it, it comes out okay. So I'm just going to press this onto the cheekbones and see if we can see anything. Yeah, oh yeah, it gives like a little kind of nice natural glow to the cheek. I think in 2018 the super dramatic highlight is kind of gonna go by the wayside for me. I think it's still gonna stay a big trend. People love their highlight, but I'm just kind of into a more natural look at the moment, so this is perfect for me and the vibe that I'm going for personally. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but it does just really give like a nice luminosity to the skin. It kind of gives a natural, like, not sweaty, but almost just natural sweaty glow. And then I'm also going to take a little bit on the tip of my nose and on the bridge of my nose. That just makes you look really natural and healthy. And that's it for highlight. And now for blush, I'm going to use another Osmosis product. This is the Osmosis blush in the shade Poppy. And I was obsessed with Peony in the last year, and I tend to really be obsessed with cool toned pink blushes, but I think this is a nice change up. This is a little bit, I think, more sophisticated and just more polished and beautiful looking. I'm kind of experimenting with it, but this is super pigmented, so I'm just going to take barely any and start to build it up on the cheek. I mean, look, there was barely any on there, and look how dramatic it is. Okay. But I think this reddy tone really gives you like a natural sunburned, windswept, you know, flushed look to the skin, whereas the pink looks a little bit more, I mean, it still looks bright and healthy, but looks a little bit more makeup-y. This looks a little bit more natural in my opinion, even though this is really dark and a lot comes out no matter how lightly you dab it. So this blush is going to last forever because it's super pigmented, which is really good. I would highly recommend this. I think using this on a duo fiber brush maybe would give an even more beautiful effect, but I kind of like the strong blush look and I'm kind of going for that vibe, so I don't mind it being layered on like this. And then finally for the brows, I'm going to use my Clinique Superfine Liner for brows. This is just my absolute favorite brow product at the moment, and it's a product that I really trust. So first I'm just going to brush my brows up. And I think the secret to looking really polished in 2018 is going to be spending a little bit more time on my brows, because I tend to just kind of fill them in messily and hope for the best. And this is a part of the routine that takes a really long time, but I don't like to spend a lot of time on this. So in the mornings I tend to skim over it, and then I just look at my brows halfway through the day and they look like a hot mess, and there's nothing I can do about it until I get home and can fill them in again. But in 2018, I'm gonna take the time and have my brows be on fleek. Brows are kind of filled in, and I'm just gonna pause to use my Anastasia clear brow gel. I've kind of been switching it up between this, the Benefit Gimme Brow, and the Glossier Boy Brow, but this is the only clear one that I have, and I've really been liking clear just because it kind of diffuses out any harsh pencil lines and kind of makes the brows look a little bit more natural. Sometimes I don't want them to be too dark, and this is one of those times. And then I'm just going to go back in quickly with my brow pencil and kind of fill in any gaps that I see. Alright, that's as good as the brows are going to get. I guess I'm not really going to have that much more patience in 2018 for brows, so that's where they're going to stay. And I'm just going to add a little bit more mascara on the upper lashes and then also add some to my lower lashes. As a final touch, I'm of course going to do my inner corner highlight on my eye, and I'm just going to take my Kevyn Aucoin Brighten shade from the Contour Book Volume 2, which I use every day. I just haven't found anything to replace this yet. I could put the RMS highlighter in there, but I just really like a more dramatic highlight that's a little bit more intense than that for the inner corner, so until I find a healthier option for that, I'm just going to stick with the Kevyn Aucoin. Plus I have a long way to go to use it up, so hopefully it lasts forever because I'm absolutely obsessed with this shade. And to finish off the entire look, my favorite product is the Sara Happ 1 Luxe Gloss in the Nude Slip color. This is the nude one. If you watched my 2017 yearly favorites, I talked about these glosses. I just love Sara Happ glosses, and this nude shade is my absolute favorite. I lost mine, but this is my replacement. I finally have it, so I can start wearing it again. It was like really a problem. I was trying to do my makeup every day, and I just couldn't find a lip product that I liked as much as this that was going to go with every look to wear every day, so I knew I had to repurchase it. And that's it. This is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this New Year, New You makeup tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed kind of seeing how I'm trying to make my makeup look a little bit more polished and a little different in the new year. As always, all the products that I mentioned and used will be listed in the description box down below. If you're curious, check that out. Also, please subscribe if you're new. I upload 2 days a week on Monday and Thursdays, and I don't want you to miss my next video, and thank you so much for watching.